Alright. What's up, everybody? We've got Showtime, the big boy. That's right, representing Berlin International Gaming, aka Big Esports. It is Showtime, which does sound a little bit like something people would have conspiracies about. They're like, yo, he's sponsored by the Lizard People, isn't he? Sponsored by Big Esports. Tobias Sieber, also known as Demour or The Wall, an incredibly defensive Protoss player with a massive history in the game. In the top right, though, his opponent is the world champ. It's CLEM, representing Team Liquid for many years now, and rising into prominence about 4 or 5 years ago. But really, I mean, he became notable in 2018. People were like, oh, that CLEM kid could be good. You know, he's old enough to compete now. He's turned 16. But now, 6 years later, at the age of 22, he has really established himself as not just a good player or a promising player or a player who's close to winning a tournament, but a player who's now won multiple tournaments, has won a world championship in one of the most dominant fashions we've ever seen. And honestly, has actually got a lot of people questioning balance. People are like, wow, I think Terran might be really unfair. And that tells you you're special. You know, that's Serral's had that treatment, Beyond's had that treatment, with Reapers getting nerfed multiple times. Like, guys, you know you're a truly special StarCraft player when people watch your games and they go, your pieces are too good. You know, that's how you know you've hit a special level in StarCraft, right? That's the achievements that we all dream of having, as having people frustrated enough watching how good we are that they think they need to take away our pieces and make them worse. Gateway, Cybercore, second pylon, Nexus coming up. Very nice opening for Showtime. And what I'm most curious about for Showtime, as by the way, these Stalkers only 27 seconds now. This is the finals, by the way, of the Wardy PTR tournament. PTR tournament number 1. He did 2 separate ones. And yeah, basically Stalkers build a bit faster, but I'm wondering, are we just going to do 2-gate Blink Robo and use Sentry Hallucinations to have better scouting? I think it's not a bad way to play. Yeah, Sentry's on the way. But I'd like to see some Oracle openings. I do think Oracle openings and Phoenix openings are still very good, but we'll see which ones Showtime chooses to optimize those on. Because Estrella, who was spamming Oracles, spamming Phoenix openings for a few days, he seems to have gone back towards 2-gate Blink Robo, gone back to a very sort of samey style in the matchup, and just added those hallucinations in for a bit of extra scouting. And for me, I was hoping to see more variety in the openings, so I really want to see, hopefully, Showtime mix it up. That being said, it's Showtime. And Showtime's one of the most samey, predictable players ever. He likes to get repetitions and play perfect. Showtime likes to refine his thing until it is the best. You know, I fear not a man who's practiced 1,000 different kicks. I fear a man who's practiced one kick 1,000 times. Probably butchering Bruce Lee there, but you guys remember the quote better than I do. You guys can correct it in the chat in the comments if you want. Essentially, Showtime is the man who will have mastered his build excellently, and you might think stopping the hallucination's good, but he just immediately pops another one, sends it across the map, and he will be spying the factory with the tech lab, Starport, which you can assume is probably building a medevac here as well, and he should even see the Cyclone pop out, which is nice. Oh, medevac and tank after that Cyclone. Looks like a rather aggressive setup for CLEM, and with a 3rd gateway now coming up, and a 3rd and 4th gas. Looks like Showtime's happy to just play 2-base heavy. He's like, you know what? I don't need a 3rd base. Not against a guy who's not building a 2nd or 3rd barracks, not building a 3rd command center. I just need to stay on 2-base, defend, and crush your aggression. I can take my 3rd while taking a bit more tech on 2-base. I'd rather fight a toddler than a man Bruce Lee. Did he actually say that? Makes sense. I mean, if you got to fight someone, I mean, obviously, besides the whole hurting a toddler, that kind of sucks. But I mean, in terms of difficulty of the fight, yeah? What? Sorry. Sometimes Twitch chat says things. I'm like, please tell me that's an actual quote. If so, I've got to hear the story on it. Here we go, guys. Tanks here. Blink's almost ready. Showtime looking good. He should have the numbers, but he's got to get rid of the medevac. The medevac's the big problem here. Guardian Shield is nice. Blink's ready. And I don't mind the disengage. I think if you lose a gateway, it's not the end of the world. No charge on the way, just lots of stalkers. He should be able to overwhelm this Showtime, especially with an extra Guardian Shield, but you can see he's trying to move in and out, especially when the tank's wasting its shots on the gateway. It does give you some opportunities. Takes out the medevac, takes out the tank, and that should be a pretty good fight overall for Showtime, even though you can see those Marines will take out like one more stalker there. Yeah, very good trade. I think Showtime here with an excellent opening, guys. He's looking good. Marines are going to pull back as well. Raven's coming out, second and third barracks as well. Factory starport there. Starport should land. Engineering bay on the way. Robo bay starts up. Third nexus. Very nice. At this point, set up the contain. Maybe pick off an SCV or two, a Marine or two. You should be good here. Tank's very far back. Bunker not building's kind of big. I think Showtime actually could pick off a bunch of SCVs here. Yeah, gets a few Marines, a couple of SCVs. Really nice trades for him. And Clem here with that famous anti-4-gate blink wall off with his buildings that he's always so adamant about doing these days. Does secure the defensive position. Raven doesn't get in as well, which actually means that Showtime's just in an amazing position. If he just keeps probing here, I mean, I guess he doesn't have a Forge. There we go, Forge does start. His upgrades will be a little behind, but that's okay. Hallucination comes forward. He was thinking about blinking in the base, but Clem's setup is solid now. And I think for Showtime, you just chill. You hit your probe count. Your Colossus starts up. He should be extending his thermal lance, guys. And he does indeed start to do that. Not sure if I've ever said it that way before. He's extending his thermal lance? I mean, he's getting the upgrade called extended thermal lance. It's a very weird way of saying that. It's just like sometimes you just commentate so long. As a commentator, you're always searching for novel ways to say things. Sometimes you say something though, you're like, that does not sound good or right or better in any way. Is it different? Technically, yes. I wouldn't call it better. It's just a weird way of putting it. 5 barracks coming in after the third command center, so Clem does have a more standard setup. Marines, Marauders, Medivacs coming out. No concussive just yet, and that makes sense. That's kind of the lowest priority upgrade, but he does get it. I feel like Clem has done such a good job of fixing all of the weaknesses I've seen over the years. If we think about casting him in 2020, casting him in 2022, casting him in 2023, every year I've had a different thing I've complained. Like, Clem used to be so predictable. And he fixed that by mixing in a few more openings. And then Clem would, like, never do all-ins. And he started mixing in a few more all-ins. And then he would die in late game because he did F2 too much. And now he almost never F2s in the big stages of the game. Never uses the select all army key. And this has just made him so much more well-rounded as a player. Man, I thought Showtime did really good in the early fight. Somehow Clem's up 20 supply and has an amazing push on the front. Good force field, though. Really, really nice force field. The Widow Mine dragged into the Marines. That Zealot micro from Showtime was insane. I don't know if that was on purpose or that was just luck, but that Zealot ran back and forwards in range of the Widow Mine and then charged on the Marines as it fired, dragging the friendly fire in. That Widow Mine also friendly fires the tank. The Colossus. Oh my gosh, the Marauders are on top. Oh, isn't that just so tragic losing that Colossus? I thought Showtime was going to crush this fight. And instead, he ends up losing a Colossus. It's still good for him, I would imagine, but the supply a bit dangerous. If he can get rid of one of those Medivacs. Oh, even the Marauder unloads in time. The Medivac saves one of the 2 Marauders. Observers both on top of each other on the other side. I'd love to see Showtime take a second to fix that up. You can tell he's very stressed, trying to hunt these units down. He does get a few more kills, and he will be able to back away. He needs a new sentry. This Raven's still down here waiting to unload. A few more sentries warping in. Energy recharge could be good, but look at this. Clem, he's got momentum. His third base is landed, morphing into an orbital, even though it's quite late. He's going to drop the natural. That's going to force a recall, but there's no energy. Colossus is nearby, though. Colossus with a few warp-ins could hold this. On the right side, he splits his army. He knows it's not going to be a one-prong attack. Showtime on move command. He's going to not quite kill the Widow Mines before they fire. Luckily, they only hit 2 Zealots, though. Good defense on this side. Sentries are going down. Unfortunately, has a lot of sentries dying in this game. And the Colossus with the battery overcharge will hang on, but those Medivacs are going to pick up and drop in the main. Clem's able to handle this with no mistakes. Most players can't do this. When you go this deep, it usually comes with a bit of sloppiness and a few units that get thrown away. For Clem, it seems to just come with free advantages and no disadvantages. I say free. I mean, it's not really free, but this is the aura of Clem. He makes us feel like all micro and multitasking is free because it's so second nature to him. Auto turrets came in on that right side, managed to get 6 probes, force those probes off the line. Zealot Stalker deals with it. He needs to hang on the right side. He realizes it. Showtime knows he's up against the wall. Colossus in the open. No! He needed that Colossus to be defended, but he's only just now brought the Observer back, guys. If we rewind there as Showtime GG's, he just brought the Observer back. He didn't have any vision, and Clem just had him pinned on the defensive, trading him down. Very good aggressive play from start to finish. Clem giving no room for Showtime. Clem is absolutely insane. All right, guys, Showtime in the top right. I thought he had pretty good defense, but his third was delayed. And even though he got a decent trade-off, Clem was able to defend the counterattack and then just get such good supply, even with such a late third base, man. And Showtime just didn't quite have that economic momentum I guess he needed. He dealt with the push pretty well, but who knows, maybe he should have fought the push harder and earlier just to shut it down. It's a weird thing, because sometimes in PvT it's worth trading a bit worse, losing a few more Stalkers, and then just like at least getting the push away from your base so you can just build your third and probe up. And it's very hard to weigh those things up, because it's so... If you fight too early against Clem and his medevac just starts juggling units up and down and dodging Stalker volleys, you can just lose. Too many players have lost to that, and that really, it's the medevac's micro ability to dodge Stalker shots that creates such danger and also unpredictability in the early game of PvT. It's awkward. People are talking about how we can make Clem balanced in StarCraft. People have suggested he has to play with a ball mouse from 1998. Nice, I like it. What about the old trackball in the middle with the big ball that you roll the ball and then it's got the 2 clicks on the bottom left and bottom right around the ball? Is that the trackball? Is that what that's called? Because it's not just a ball mouse. It's the mouse is a ball. Yeah, we could make him play with the trackball. Might be good. Yeah. Or like it's an early laser mouse, but problem. It's a laser mouse that's being used by a neckbeard, so for like months on end, and he's not allowed to clean it. So it's got like a lot of Dorito dust and just random like crusty food leavings and like dead skin and general greasy buildup that's kind of obscuring the laser. You guys remember using the early laser mice that were already kind of inconsistent, and then you'd have it be a bit dirty underneath as well, and it was like you'd have your mouse here and it would just pop over here, then it would just like move like this across the screen even though you're friggin' moving it in a straight line on your mouse pad. You know, like we might have to go deep on how to make Clem balanced, guys. Stalker there. Gonna be able to defend this. Stalker into Sentry, very safe openings for Showtime. Showtime scout this game. He did scout again. Showtime very rarely doesn't scout. I do think... Oh! Hello. Oh, you can't leave now because of the force field. Reaper goes down, he sees the Twilight. So that's interesting, guys. I thought that would wall that off, but apparently there's a little opening here. So I thought this was the perfect wall off for both, but I wonder if you could even jump that one as well. Wouldn't it be funny if this didn't wall off? We just thought it could. Because I thought this was the correct wall off positioning, but maybe you can't wall this off with just a single building. Hallucinated Phoenix does see what appears to be just a basic Widow Mine drop opening. Pretty standard stuff, nothing too crazy. And he's going to go for a much quicker third, guys. So this time it's 2 gate blink into third base before Robo. Showtime saying, okay, I tried to stay conservative 2 base. Didn't work, number 1. Number 2, this is a much less aggressive build. There's no Tech Lab, there's no Cyclone tanked medevac coming across the map. Let's go straight for that third, and I think I can get away with it. Do we think it was intentional from the map maker? They must have been a Terran map maker. Who knows? Sometimes, guys, you got to realize with these maps, a lot of the time, the map makers have already made quality changes to stuff like that, but it just hasn't been updated in the PTR or the latter version. And the map makers have been very frustrated with the way map making works. So if you guys ever are like, oh, map makers, why they do these stupid things? Just remember, the map makers are usually just as angry as you that their creations are often not using the most up-to-date version, or for some reason have slight changes that kind of mess things up that they weren't consulted on. So just keep that in mind. Don't be out there blaming map makers for volunteering their time to give us fantastic maps. 6 Stalkers coming in. 4 Stalkers in position. Oh, he's going to take damage. Oh, he only blinked 1 Stalker at first, but nonetheless, good damage, Clem. Doesn't feel like a good start. He's got... Wait. Whoa. He's got 4 mines, 2 separate medevacs. My man's doing the stress test. Oh, medevac got spotted, but only for half a second. I don't think Showtime noticed it. No, he didn't catch it. It was like a fraction of a second. And he doesn't see it, which means when that comes in, if this other medevac can sneak around when the Stalkers get pulled, if these get pulled to the main, That's going to be bad. Medevac drop comes in. 2 Widow Mines in the main base. Showtime happy to lose a probe or 2. No panic. Does not pull units out of position, but look at that. Clem's just like, okay. Deny some mining time. And he's going to try to save... Oh my gosh, he just keeps wasting mining time. He's so annoying. Oh, Clem, you're so annoying. Let him mine his minerals. They're his minerals. They're not yours. Oh my gosh. Leave. He even gets a stalker after all that mining time. Showtime is triggered. Showtime has got to be so tilted. And he just kills his own probe. Oh, because he was supply blocked and he wanted to start a Colossus, so he had to kill his own probe. The macro mistake there as a result because he's so triggered by this. Oh, Clem. Now what Clem just did normally comes at the cost of a big macro mistake. But it's Clem. So of course he did that while macroing perfectly because the man is faster than anyone known to be alive. Like, he's actually so fast. It's insane. I mean, maybe his money floated slightly if you guys caught something, but as far as I can tell, not supply block, depots building, stim done, shields almost done, concussive almost done, medevacs, bio. He's going to be marching forward. His 3rd command center is almost finished. Showtime, though, does have a good work account, 63. The problem is he needs Colossus. First one's out, second one's on the way. Force fields plus Colossus should be able to hold off this mostly marine mine army, but he's still got to keep an eye on this mine drop on that right side. Showtime actually is in a good spot. It's just amazing how much value Clem gets out of that light pressure. And it doesn't show up in the units lost, remember. Shows up as being negative, but Clem probably wasted like 400 minerals of mining, maybe more than that in the main, maybe 500 minerals. It was an insane amount of value. He like killed a battle cruiser basically with that mine drop in terms of mining time. Is weed legal in France? We need to get Clem high so he plays a bit slower. I wonder if that would even work. He might be even more in the zone. It does feel with how frantic he plays that doesn't really mesh with someone being high, but we realize we give him a token, he just friggin' plays twice as fast and even better, and you're like, oh no. Oh no. Like, don't give this kid Adderall. He's like, I have 7,000 APM now and I can see the future. Like, I do sometimes think the Serals, the Clems, the Rainers, the Max Maxes of this world, like, we're just lacking the technology to tap into their precog nature. Like, these are the guys we will be plugging into some sort of machine 20 years in the future to see crimes before they happen. You know, part of our future crimes department to shut them down. Like, I can't vibe with the fact that they're normal humans. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, they're very impressive and it's awesome. But can we be honest? I don't think they're normal humans. Come on, man. You can't be this good. Zealot Stalker, Colossus Sentry coming down. The Marines pulling back. The Marauders and the Mines up front. We've got Widow Mines trying to fire that. Only gets a single Zealot. Good starter set by Clem. Showtime defends the 4th. He's in a decent spot. It's interesting that he took this 4th instead of the northern one. I thought he'd stick to the northern one, but he's going to kind of just spread across this front. Probably take the gold as a 5th, I would imagine, just because the other bases are a bit too exposed. Now, double upgrades are coming in. +1 attack, +1 armor, which will catch him up to Terran. Armory's almost finished. 4th command center building. I don't think there's a 2nd engineering bay, but the first ghosts are now hitting the field. And that Viking count's growing as well. So we would expect probably 3 more barracks, starport to build on this factory reactor at some point. A few of these things. I also think Showtime should be breaking these rocks as quickly as possible. Notice Clem with the F2 discipline, guys. He just never uses F2. It's so good, man. It's made him such a better player. Such a better player. Showtime's in a perfectly fine position. Now, late game, Showtime is very much a front-on, very straight-up player. Lots of Zealots. The Colossus adds a few Disruptors in the mix. And he is thinking about getting the Blink DTs as well. Those 2 extra gateways will take him to 10 gateways. Clem, oh, he's got to watch out for the Prism. Prism coming in the south side. Factory has floated there. Hasn't built the 2nd starport just yet. As I say it, Clem moves the SCV before he even has the gas. Even this late in the game. Wow. Clears the watchtower, pulls back, builds the starport, ship weapons on the way. 2nd eBay. It's going for 2-2 at the same time as 2-2 starts for Protoss. Prism's going to try to float in the main. Watch this from Clem's vision. He sees it in the bottom. He sees it in the bottom. He knows about it. 2 Widow Mines are in position. He targets them. Now, the way Widow Mines work, guys, is if you don't manually target them, they would only track on to one target, one at a time. It would wait for the first shot to fire before the second one tracks on, which is why he had to look at that, manually target it, and that's how he dealt with it. Fourth command center's in trouble, though. Vikings are coming forward. Watch out for the ball. Watch out. Oh. Oh! What? What did I just witness? What did I just see? Did you? Okay, some of you didn't see that. Yo, you don't understand. He just dodged a disruptor shot by loading his SCVs into the command center and then instantly unloaded them. Who has muscle memory to do that? Who? Who uses a flying command center as like a medevac to pop units in and out in the midst of the action while controlling a maxed army? What in the hell? Clem just does things no one else would ever think to do. There's so many things you're managing, and it's so natural for him to just use every tool in his arsenal. It's like an AI. Most humans can only focus on so many things at a time, and they're used to, in these intense big macro situations, only doing things they have muscle memory for. Clem, he must have muscle memory. He must have done that before. He's like realized at some point, he's like, yeah, I like microing things in and out of my floating command center. It's like, what the hell? Insane micro. He's trying to micro back and forwards, but one big disruptor shot could ruin his day. Oh, that one only clips the Marauders. Next one goes out, it gets shot down just before it can connect. Great focus fire there by Clem. Vikings trying to land, big disruptor shot, doesn't quite land. Again, he finally lands a shot on the Vikings, but Clem, the number of disruptors that he killed 0.2 of a second before it detonated is crazy there. One more disruptor is waiting. He's gonna have to throw that shot. He throws it. Clem stim runs out at a bad time. And that's the first big juicy shot. 7 kills go down. Stalkers blink forward. Clem chases too far here, and Showtime is quick to push him back. Finally, the first F2 of the game comes in for Clem, guys. You can see all of his Marine spotters. 12 minutes into the game, he loses a fight. He realizes, oh crap, I need everyone on the front. Pulls back his Marine spotters, pulls back the medevac. That was sitting there for the last 8 minutes, 7 minutes of this game. 7 minutes with no F2, but he does feel the pressure now. He knows that Showtime's up in supply. Showtime's 5th base on the gold is absolutely roaring. He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gases once this one starts mining, and base number 6 on the top. Showtime doing pretty well here. He's on 14 gateways with 3 more, a 3rd rowboat, 2 Colossus rebuilding, and Dark Templar coming in as well. Great moves here for Showtime. Patrolling Viking for Clem will spot the Zealots on the left side. He's already got a little bit of an army split. We'll need to split a few more bio units to that left side and some to the right to deal with the disruptors that are coming in there as well. I'd love to see a Stalker come in from this side, kill that Viking, because I feel like right now there's a bit too much of a vision advantage for Clem. Disruptor shot comes forward. Ooh, Zealot, Stalker, Sentry, trying to just pull away from any EMPs. Disruptor shot still zoning from afar, guys. That is 3 disruptors, 3 upgrades, getting close to done. Right now, though, it is equal, 2-2 against 2-2. Force fields on this ramp. We've seen Estrella use force fields on that ramp to brutal effectiveness. Looks like he blocked his own building with a missile turret, so he kills that, gets the command center down, and starts making a planetary. Nice dive in the north here for Clem. We'll get a cannon, but it looks like he's not going to be able to take out the Nexus, as the Zealots will get on top and buy that Nexus a bit of time. Colossus there, roasting some Marines, and the Stalkers. Oh! 3 hit point medevac barely survives. Clem's diving right now. Clem getting excited. Colossus a bit exposed. Showtime pulls them back and should be able to keep those alive. Observer goes down. Dude, I love it. The way Clem runs at these armies with that little ball of bio, this is like every situation I would run away from, Clem runs towards. Clem fixes bayonets and charges the enemy tanks as they're rolling towards his trenches. Clem still has the mindset of a 19th century cavalry commander in modern warfare. But you know what? He's not ready for invisible units. DT snipe the planetary. Double drop in the top does get cleaned up by Showtime. Showtime denies the gold mining, denies the bottom Nexus with the Dark Templar, which are continuing in here and finding even more damage. And damn, man, cavalry commander, bravery, the cavalier nature of his army. It's good sometimes, but the DTs seem to have found the weak spot, and that is doing devastating amounts of damage. Those Dark Templar shredding 41 workers and a command center. Zealots coming in the left side as well. The Stalker Colossus on the front. Got to be a little careful. This fight looks a bit wasteful here for Mr. Showtime, but does almost get rid of one of the Vikings. Stalker Sentry goes a bit too far forward, bleeding out units. Showtime, don't be too sloppy here. Any trade's probably a good trade for the man with 17 gateways, but that can be pushed too far if you really press that to its extreme limits. Zealots trading very well, getting Vikings, Ghosts, Marauders. You can see the way the SCVs fight. Then when they get attacked, they stop fighting, so they get deprioritized. A lot of micro there to make those Zealots keep changing targets. Fantastic play by Clem to mess with the melee units. He's down 70 supply, though, and letting loose the balls of war. Showtime drops Trowel, lands one on a single Marauder. Zealots tearing up another 10 workers on that left side. Colossus Stalker. Disruptor does go down before its shot can connect. There's still a Disruptor in the backside. The Zealots getting on top. Showtime standing his ground, confidently knowing that he has so much money. Stalkers try to focus fire. They get a Ghost. Disruptor does come out. Gets himself another Ghost and a Marauder. Another couple of balls go out. 2 balls for 2 Marauders. Seems so weird, doesn't it? The modern Disruptor, much less damage. But I gotta say, the radius going back to its old radius is so important. It really shows the Disruptor just used to never land hits. The Disruptor radius change was one of those changes where we're like, well, it's not that big a change. You look at it now and you're like, damn, it was so huge. And it's so essential that they put the radius back. I still think the Disruptor being force supply is a bit nuts, but it is what it is. Stalkers coming forward, going after those Vikings. Nice focus fire. So many Zealots, man. So many Zealots. Oh, Zealot, Stalker, Disruptor coming forward, man. Whoa! There we go. Disruptors, Stalkers, Zealots, and DTs. Too many units. Double the army supply. All you need to do is click on that command center, and Clem is done for. Command center. One more volley from those Stalkers. Showtime. Please click with your D just once, man. Disruptor does take out a Zealot, but a few Marauders and Marines as well. Does not click with his D on the command center, but he goes for the army instead. Zealots on the ramp. And you know you're in a bad spot when you're on your ramp with Marauders and SCVs, surrounded by Zealot, Dark, Templar. Beautiful play by Showtime to equalize the series, despite potentially the most annoying early game Widow Mines of all time, denying a full minute of mining time in his base. All right, guys. Liquid Clem now tied up 1-1 with Showtime. Luckily for him, he's going on to Whispers of Gold. And I have a feeling within a few months we're going to call this map Whispers of Clem, because Showtime in the top left finds himself in an incredibly exposed main base. Look at how wide open this main is to get Doom dropped. And I have to wonder, how does Showtime expand? Does he? I think there's an argument as a Protoss, take the 3rd here, take the 4th here, and dominate this southern side of the map. Because that way you're kind of protecting your main from drops and defending your 3rd and 4th at the same time. But it's just, this main is wide open, man. Maybe Phoenix Colossus styles that are a bit more dangerous to drop into. I do not know, but I fear that the best way to play this for Showtime is just to do an all-in. And the reason I fear that is because I don't think Showtime's going to do an all-in. Because he's Showtime, number one, and because Clem has an aura of invincibility where people feel like you can't really kill him with just a big all-in anymore. Like it doesn't feel like there's any good all-ins that can catch him off guard. If you talk to pros, they will say this. I get this. There's still some things you can do, but it's very limited. There's a small range compared to the old days. People had like 50,000 cheeses up their sleeves, right? Add to that, Showtime's not really a cheesy player, and that will add up. Now notice, no reactor first this time, guys. He's going to go very quick factory. So he's getting his factory up nice and early, and he's already building it up here because he knows Blink Stalkers blink in here. He needs factory here, starport here, maybe a building there, and tanks wedged in behind it, defending this main base. He is very wary of 4-gate blink as a high-risk build. I do think Clem plays very safe against 4-gate blink, though, so he should be good. Accidentally has 4 workers on gas. That's because I think he's clicked a probe on that gas from somewhere else, right? Must have been a probe from somewhere else on the map was clicked there. Anyways, it is fixed up now. Stalker first, yet again, into Sentry seems to be the opening that Showtime is just absolutely loving right now. And on this map, there is only the one Reaper Ledge guy, by the way, guys. Remember, down here, this is all blocked off by different terrain and stuff. Is that a Thor factory there? Oh, it is. There's like a Thor that was being constructed here, but it's all collapsed in on itself. Or actually, it's an Odin, not a Thor, right? I think it's an Odin. Yeah, that's not a Thor. That's an Odin. The Omega Thor. Very cool. There's also a burning battle cruiser down here and a crashed up mule corpse. Is it a corpse if it's a robot? Probably not. Oh, look at this. There's an actual Thor being built there as well. By the way, is that a Thor? Looks like it. Or no, it's kind of looks like, yeah, no, I think that's a Thor. Or is that like a Thor and a spaceship combined? What the heck is this? Oh, maybe that's the top half of the Thor and there's the bottom half down there and they're going to stick it together. Oh, cool map, man. There's also some stuff here rotating with some yellow fluid and some stuff going on. I guess maybe they're mining gold. Interesting. Build order wise, guys, Hallucination comes in, sees it's a Widow Mine opening, but also sees that it's an tech lab on that factory, which means there will be siege tanks coming out behind this very early on. And it's going to be similar to game 1. We're going 2-gate, blink into 4-gas, robo. No third gateway this time. Let's see how well he defends. Ooh, the medevac, I think, saw the Stalker, but Stalkers don't have much vision. So I don't think he saw the medevac, as that medevac comes into the main base to unload. Stalkers and sentries are nearby, though. If he focuses the medevac, he could do some good damage. He's not focusing the medevac. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Showtime, watch out, mate. He should have got as much damage on the medevac there as possible. I like that he split the Marines a little bit, but he's already losing a bunch of probes. 2 probes. Sentry does pull back. I like that he saves the sentry. That sentry's not going to help much in the battle. Blink, still a while away. Stalker's coming forward. And so much mining time being lost. Oh, I like the sacrifice on the Stalker. Takes one for the team. And that allows Showtime to return to mining. He also has that sentry still alive. He can energy recharge that and continue to scout whenever he likes. Second siege tank's on the way. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Liberator queue up, but no, it is going to be a tech lab on the starport. Second and third barracks, and the engineering bay coming in behind this. Oh, there we go. The reason I wouldn't be surprised to see a Liberator is he already built it. So he's got a Marine drop on the left. He's got a Marine tank move out in the middle. Don't know if this is really going to commit to pushing the third or not. And a Lib comes in behind the third. Stalkers in position, going to get themselves a lot of damage. 2 big volleys. Single Stalker can now deal with that Liberator super easily. Showtime. He's got another pylon on the way and another Nexus. 3 Stalkers in the main base ready to deal with this drop. The Marine tank no longer moving forward. Clem has realized, I don't know if I want to move into this. Liberator's almost dead. My medevac it doesn't have a lot of damage in it, just 4 unupgraded Marines. So he's just going to chill. Hope to maybe ambush a few Stalkers if they come forward, get a good shot or 2 off, maybe kill an Observer. But a little bit dangerous being so far outside your base. Third tank comes forward. Observer sees him. And you can see Showtime with the Observer. Keeps those Stalkers safe. Very nicely played. Liberator Siege is up on this Stalker. Cute move there. I like that. I like that. Stalker's doing a bit of damage. One of them does go down, though. Yeah, good trade for Clem. Oh, that Liberator being a bit of a D-bag. Clem gets a bit too fancy for his own good. But he does kill another Stalker on the front. You can see its corpse goes flying. Whispers of Gold does have low gravity, by the way, as you guys can see with the corpses. It's an interesting feature on this map where you'll see their corpses they don't fly up, but they just kind of bounce around a bit. They've changed the physics. He cancels his Nexus! Oh my lord! Showtime just cancelled his Nexus, guys. He feels he can't defend it from this push because he's only got 6 Stalkers. I kind of feel like he might have been able to, but I guess he's going to just take the other third. Cancels it, takes the other third, loses the pylon, the battery. There's another pylon up there. Could be free kill there for Clem, but I think Clem might just run away. A ton of Zealots, Archons coming in. 4 more gateways. It's going to be 8-gate Zealot, Archon, Immortal. Remember, the Immortals have been nerfed in this version of the game as well. Meanwhile, over the last couple of years, Terran Tier 2 upgrades are cheaper. Armory, cheaper. There's a lot of these little things. Liberator 25 gas cheaper. There's a lot of these small little changes that do stack up. Clem gathering his forces back. 2 more medevacs building. Storms on the way, as well as a Warp Prism. Not a bad call here for Showtime, but he finds himself behind, and I love the way Clem just pulls that army back and chills out. I don't know, man. I feel like with the Immortal, he might have been able to buy time on that Nexus, but 3 siege tanks is incredibly scary, and if he lost the Nexus, it would have been a huge bummer. Showtime going for Storm now. That drop still hanging out over there. New pushes coming on this side. Prism with 3 High Templar. One of them is energy recharged as well. He should make sure he loads that High Templar first, and indeed he does. 2 Storms available on that High Templar. Storm's going to be ready in about 20 seconds, guys. Forces the tanks to siege far away, but I think he was always planning to siege there anyway. A good Storm might be nice. Storm's not quite ready, though. No, don't lose the Prism. Okay, he does do a zoning Storm. The Marines are heavily damaged now. Looks like he's thinking about flanking on the left. I feel like the High Templar should be dropping on the right. Is he just going to go Zealot drop? No, it's 4 High Templar in there. Marauders coming forward. 1 good Storm on these Marines. Your Zealots can clear it all up, especially with no combat shields. Nice Storm on those Marauders, especially with the Immortal helping out. He has to save the Immortal, though. It shoots so slowly now. Oh, 2 High Templar. Stumble into range of those tanks and do go down. The Immortal has to get out of here. Got an Archon in the Prism right now. He needs a new energy recharge. Where is that energy recharge? It's still so far away. He must have just used it on something else. Maybe the Sentry? Maybe he already used it on one of those High Templar just a few seconds ago. Zealot Archon's coming forward. Double drop into the main. Stalkers are there, but he's going to overwhelm the south side. Nice up pickup. Can he load in the main? Yes, he can. Great move here by CLEM. He even unloads those 4 Marines from the left as well. CLEM with a quick reposition. I told you guys this main is wide open for Doom drops. It's why this map is going to be called Whispers of CLEM in a few months, because I tell you, I do not see CLEM losing many games on this map. Even when his frontal push gets shut down, the frontal base is such a short rush distance across to those bases. They're exposed, and the main is wide open for drops. But SHOWTIME, not one to be messed with. Does trap a few of those SCVs, but only a few of them. Widowmine's getting a good spready. Good spray on those Zealots. The Prism Zealot Immortal Archon is kind of splayed out here. They're a bit too spread apart. High Templar does try to do a Storm Drop, but that's so micro-intensive. He just doesn't have enough to overwhelm. Even with the Zealot Warp, in which he's going to go for you, his main base still has CLEM's army inside it. And CLEM just looks way too scary on that map. Honestly, if I had to bet before that game, I would have said 70, 80% chance of CLEM winning versus Max Packs. Against SHOWTIME, probably 95%. I feel this map is so good for CLEM style because the main's open to drops. These bases, you've got like pretty short rush distance paths. No ramps really on them. I mean, you got a little ramp there, but like there's no ramp defending this. It just feels like this map, CLEM is going to be all over his opponent, swarming around the flanks. It just seems like the map that he's going to love. I would veto this if I was playing CLEM. All right, SHOWTIME did go down in that last one, but now we're on to Snowpiercer, a map which I think is going to be a bit more of a standard layout for SHOWTIME. I still don't know if this is good for Protoss or good for him at all. We don't have enough experience on these maps, but I think it's going to be better than Whispers of Gold, as this main will be a bit easier to defend. What I'd love to see for SHOWTIME, honestly, is him to not scout. I think if you're playing Stalker Sentry, I just don't know why you would probe scout. I guess to not die to double proxy Marauder. CLEM's not going to do that anyway. The thing with SHOWTIME is I really wish he would gamble a bit more, cut corners. I know it's not his style. He doesn't like gambling. But I feel like it's such a safe gamble because you gate scout pretty much every game to do that. Because he either scouts after gate or after gas. So please take the gas, go to minerals, don't scout. Love to see it. Oh, he's doing it, guys. He's not scouting just yet. He's going to send this one across. I guess you want to check for engineering bay. And he's going to scout. Damn it. I mean, it'll tell him that it's a double gas opening, which is important. Might change his build order up a little bit. But I would like to see like one game in a best of 5 just to skip on that would be nice. Do we ever see CLEM go tank heavy in the mid to late game? No. So tanks for pro players are not very good because of their immobility. You'll sometimes see people rally tank saw game against Zerg, but even then you'll see that their army is much less nimble, much less mobile. Whereas if they play mines, they can split their army up, they can run forward, burrow the mines very quickly. Tanks take a long time to siege, to unsiege. They've got low movement speed. So it's just a less mobile force. You'll often see tanks if someone's committing really hard to a 2-base push, right? We saw 3 tanks in the early game of that last game. We see tanks to defend the early blink pressure, to potentially do our own sort of 2-base push. But after that point, CLEM has pretty much always been Widow Mines. If I need something to deal with Colossus, I will use Vikings. TY, Special, used to both use tanks all game long sometimes, either for giant big tank timing pushes, or for just like turtle to late game plays. And both of those could be very effective. But it's really hard to actually punish your opponent, even if you get ahead. Steps coming out, second one getting chronoed as well. Reaper's going to jump inside that base. They try and move out. Oh, Clem. Uh-oh, guys. Does CLEM want a game 5? Is he going to make some silly mistakes? The meme usually is if CLEM keeps his Reaper alive, he wins. If he loses it, he actually loses. It's the only time CLEM loses PvT is when he loses his Reaper early on for no reason. I know it's a meme. It's not actually representative of how the game goes, but it does spiral you a bit because 2 Marines and a Reaper beats an Adept. 2 Marines on their own will not beat an Adept. And now that SCV has to delay the command center, right? Adept comes in. Bit annoying here. Maybe just 2 more hits on that SCV and you got it. Good micro for CLEM. He's so quick at pulling these back. He's gonna try and bait the Widowmine shot. SHOWTIME was thinking about it. He decides against it. Nonetheless, great micro for SHOWTIME. Does delay this command center a good amount. And CLEM actually has to bring a fresh SCV down to try and get that one. The Adept's just gonna move out of Widowmine range. Oh, he was just in range. He needed to keep moving up to the left just a little bit further. And that Adept could have got out, but ends up losing the 2 Adepts there. And CLEM holds on A-OK. He also built an extra depot behind his mineral line. Very quick reaction. A lot of low-level players forget to do that, and they end up supply blocked for a good 30 seconds, but not CLEM. He also could hold these SCVs back. Yeah, notice he's shift-clicked them. because he doesn't want them to waste time dropping off to the main. And he'll just tell them to return cargo when this finishes. See? And then they immediately go back to mining. Nice move. Widowmine, Hellion, 4 Marine drop coming across. Once again, Showtime's playing very safe here. He does have a couple Phoenix out. Kind of classic style build. Is he going full Phoenix Colossus? Okay, yeah, he is. He is. So he's going to try and intercept this with... He's only got 2 Adepts and 2 Phoenix. He's a bit light on gateway units. Losing those 2 Adepts is kind of costly. He's got to get up here with those Phoenix as quickly as possible. Clem's going to dive it. Mine Marine Alien drop coming in behind the natural. And remember, behind the gas, if you build a pylon like there, it's very hard to get around behind your gases. So I really don't think you should build a pylon there on this map, just because there's less paths around than there are on other maps. Phoenix doing some good damage. But he stays a bit too long with the weak one. And you see these Adepts? They're kind of getting stuck there. Medevac will go down. Batteries coming in. Will heal up that Adept, that Stalker as well. And the Stalker and the Adept will eventually defend this. Hellion gets picked up by the Phoenix. The Marines managed to kill one. Can they get a second one? Good fallback for Showtime. Keeps that alive. At the end of the day, pretty good defense. About equal units lost. 1 Phoenix, 3 Adepts, 2 Probes. For a Widowmine, a Medevac, a Hellion, a Reaper, and 6 Marines. Behind this, though, Cloaked Banshee's coming in. It's all the rage. And I blame Maru for this. Maru's brought this back in a big way. Beyond's doing it. Clem's doing it every second or third game. And these Phoenix are going to scout it very late. If he snap recalls, he'll be okay. But if he doesn't snap recall, he's in trouble. He sees the starport. He doesn't know for sure that that's Cloak. Now he does. And he does have an Observer that's just popped. He's going to recall the Phoenix. Observer's here. And honestly, this should be pretty good defense. I guess he loses 6, maybe 7 probes. Phoenix, Observers, and Stalkers take it out. 5 probes do go down. There is another Banshee on the map, and it's just going to stay at home for the moment. Bit of mining time, 5 workers. It's not cheap, but your third base is halfway done. I think Showtime's done a great job. Battery on the natural. He's going to build a battery on the third. Remember, guys, batteries also start with full energy if they're near a nexus. If you build them away from a nexus, they start with half energy. It's been like that with a long time. They also have 100 more total hit points and shields when combined. 50 hit points, 50 shields in this patch, which is making them a bit more tanky. Is 5 probes worth losing a Banshee? Well, because you built a Banshee and Cloak, no, in of itself, I would say it's not worth it. It's not a good trade. It's not the worst trade of all time, especially if this other Banshee can come in at a surprising moment and kill a bunch more probes. It also forces Showtime to build an extra Observer. He's built 2 Observers. He might have only built 1 otherwise. His Phoenix are staying at home because he's worried about this other Banshee coming in. So he's actually way more blind on the map because he wants to make sure he doesn't take damage. So there are these little benefits where it's like, well, how much is that worth Showtime not being able to scout right now? You can't really give that money. You can't be like, oh, that's worth 317 minerals, right? Because there are situations where Showtime's standard build order that he's doing here is the perfect thing to do against what Clem's doing. And I think it is in this case perfectly fine. There's other times where he doesn't see the move out, gets caught out of position a little bit, loses his first Colossus, and it's game over suddenly. And we go, I guess just the threat of the Banshee actually caused these mistakes to happen, right? So StarCraft, it's very hard to just give things strict monetary values. It's nice to do that when you're like improving your understanding and your theory though. Oh, Phoenix Observer. Move the Observer, move the Observer, move the Observer. He gets it. Great, great move. Showtime said, you know what? I better check the corners. He started hunting with his Phoenix and Observers. He finds it, but he doesn't know about this army at all. And that Colossus is looking mighty exposed. Please don't be a fortune teller, Pig. Oh, the Robo, the weakest tech structure in the game. Phoenix goes down instantly. No, the Robo. He may not have killed the Colossus, but he kills the Robo. Most of the Phoenix are gone. And Clem's just going to win the game with this move, it looks like. Oh, the lack of vision on the map. Like I said, not seeing the move out. He probably should have built a third Observer or sent one of his Phoenix across the map to check for move outs. That is massive damage, guys. Beautiful pickup. Slick micro. What did he lose? A few Marines? And he kills the Robo with a second Colossus about to pop. Double Robo has to get rebuilt, and this is a disaster of epic proportions. Showtime has so little anti-air. He's trying to rebuild his Phoenix. He's got 2 Phoenix, 2 Stalkers. He doesn't have anything on the third. These guys could stim in and win the game right now. Clem just running away with this, and that's such a problem, man. Widowmine Marine Marauder. Going to be coming up on this base. Good kiting. A couple of Zealots will go down to these Widow Mines. He's retargeting the mines because he doesn't want to waste his Widow Mines, guys. Did you see that? He only lets them start to fire now because he said, my Marauders can deal with these slow Zealots. I don't need Widow Mines to shoot them. Beautiful micro by Clem to be as annoying as he can. And Showtime GG's. You might be wondering, why did he GG, guys? Well, we're about to show you. Let's show that he also stimmed in here at the same time. Gets himself an Observer. The Phoenix are getting overrun. Remember, there's no battery overcharge. Marine Cyclone says, hello, goodbye. And that is unfortunate. So that's so funny that Twitch chat asked that question about the Banshee. And I kind of actually did tell the future a little bit. Obviously, this is a mistake for Showtime. He could have been more perfect, had one of these Phoenix out front, seen the army move out, pulled it back, been aware. But instead, the Banshee is such a big threat if you don't see it coming in. He's just so focused on that. And you can see from his vision, he just doesn't know. And look at this. He's just moved his Phoenix away from that position as the army's there. He's like, oh, let's make sure there's no drops down here. Let's send the observer forward. Oh, shit. And he just wasn't expecting 7 minutes 20. This is such an early stim medevac pressure to be in your natural. You got to realize, guess what? Clem didn't have to build safety tanks, right? He's got no siege tanks at all. He got to skip everything because he knew you're playing Phoenix, you're playing very defensive. I drop scouted this, it delayed you a little bit, and I knew I could just go straight for medevac, stim bio, and go for all these. Don't even have +1 finish just yet. And this is just a brilliant move. I still believe the Robo should not be as fragile as it is. I've talked about this a little bit, guys. Like, why is the most important tech structure of Protoss 900 hit points? And someone said to me, oh, well, if you think about it, because shields regenerate. And I was like, yeah, but you can't repair it. Like, yeah, you can technically heal it with a battery, but that's not even good, especially without battery overcharge. And then you've got Factory, 1250, Starport, 1300 hit points, guys. And for me, I really feel like how many games do we see end because the Robo just gets sniped when Protoss is slightly out of position? Yeah, sometimes the Artosis pylon goes down, it gets depowered, but losing the Robo and having to rebuild it from scratch is so bad. And I feel like even if this is 300 more hit points, Showtime still loses this game. But at least the bio has to just spend a little bit more time, a few more volleys killing it. I really feel like 900 hit points for such an important tech structure, just a little bit too low. And a real small change. I don't think any Terran's going to be like, oh no, your Robo's too tanky now. So personally, I'd like to see the Robo get buffed. I think this is like a no-risk change. And I've mentioned it a few times and people have been kind of silly resistant to it. And I'm like, if we know that PVT is a problem matchup, we want to target this matchup. And it's a matchup which so often ends with the Robo getting sniped randomly. Shouldn't we? I don't know. It seems like you guys let me know in the comments if you've got any reason. Maybe I'm missing a reason on why it's bad, but this has just reminded me to harp on about this. I'm literally going to go message a bunch of pro gamers and people right now and go, oi, guys, why aren't we doing this?